Well, hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Doing pretty good in this very moment. I just was having a wonderful time and, just looking at the sunshine and the blue sky and hoping that people were having a pretty good day.
Oh, wonderful. We don't have a lot of sunshine here in Colorado today. I mean, obviously, but it's clouds, so you
Right.
can't really see that bright, beautiful sun.
Hmm.
But let me welcome everybody back to Two Women Healing Out Loud with Melissa and Dawn. And we're just gonna just have some light conversation, and Melissa's going to do a reader here for us in a second, and then we'll just kind of talk about our healing journeys, what we've been through, and what this reader brings up for us. So
That
if you
sounds
want to
good.
listen or you can comment below what the reading brings up for you, that would be wonderful. We'd love to hear it.
Sounds good. So this reading today comes out of the Language Letting Go, Melody
Mm,
Beattie, 365 New Daily Meditations. And I found this to be a very powerful tool. December 11th, Touch and Taste Your Life is the title of this one. Tonight, the sun set like a red ball over the hill to the west of the house. There's an eclipse coming in just a few days, and the ocean knows it. She can feel the moon. She rises high on her hunches, ready to pounce, then slowly rolls forward. The waves build and stretch until finally the lip crumbles and the back of the wave chases the front of the wave, culminating in a massive waterfall. She smashes against the pilings, shaking the entire house. The sky is rose, lavender, and black. The house smells richly of the pasta and meat sauce in the pots on the stove. A cedar log burning in the fireplace warms the room. This is my experience now. It's an enchanted moment when the world rests but is still alive. Experience is the privilege of being human. I can taste the spaghetti. I can smell the salt of the ocean. I can feel the burning cedar taking the chill out of the air. I can love. I can hurt. And I thank God for every moment, feeling every experience I've been given. Do you taste your life or do you float through unaware of the beauty that surrounds you each day? Sometimes when the first become sober or clean, we become recovering from codependency. We wonder what we'll ever do with all this time and all the feelings that we're left with now that all the drama has been taken away. Revel in the experience you're going through, feel, touch, and taste each moment of your life, and be aware of how exquisitely beautiful it is. What's your experience right now?
mm. What'd that bring up for you today?
I think it's a vivid reminder to pay attention to the senses and what the senses are telling me, and also being aware of the beauty and not get wrapped up in the past of negativity or some hardships that I had a hard time getting through. And I love how she says, what's your experience today? What's your experience now? Because right now it's a whole different now than it was last week or last month.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely. First thing that came to me when you were talking about spaghetti, it was my mom's spaghetti sauce that she used to make when we lived in
Mm-hmm.
Texas. So I was probably about between the ages of 10 and 12. And I always loved her spaghetti sauce. She'd make it in the crock pot. And
Mm.
I've never been able to duplicate it.
Mm.
And I've always tried, but I loved her sauce. So that's what came up for me was just that unique taste. I
Mm.
actually could taste it again and almost
Mm.
even smell it. So that's how vivid that memory was. But
Wow. Yeah.
then what came to me is about how no matter what we're doing in life, it's almost like drama and chaos is always going on around us.
Mm-hmm.
And if we choose to allow it to suck us in, um, how that does take away our joy and our peace, how worry and fear and all these things, it's like it drains our joy and our peace away. So
Mm-hmm.
how to just kind of come back into the stillness and the silence to find that inner peace. So that is tasting life, you know?
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
tasting life. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. And I wonder, I have to wonder how people are feeling when they go through, especially right now during the holiday season, when people are feeling maybe out of sorts because of family being near, or maybe there's some expectations they're putting on themselves. And I'm wondering if they are able to sit with and enjoy that spaghetti and listen to the ocean, crash on the beach, and maybe take a walk and smell that salt air. I'm wondering if people are able to allow themselves to feel that joy.
The holidays are kind of it's what do you want to say? I want to say hodgepodge. That's the word I'm looking for. Hodgepodge of mixed emotions,
Mixed bag.
depending on if you're with family that is unhealed or family that's healing or family that's kind of figured it out. I
Mm-hmm.
think it can really make a difference for us. But when we visualize about that ocean,
Mm-hmm.
what really comes to me is I know I've shared with you privately, but I'll go ahead and share here. I had a near-death experience, and in that near-death experience, I came outside of my body and I became, um, I guess consciousness is what I became because I was everywhere and nowhere at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, I remember thinking to myself, well, the first thing I thought was, oh my gosh, I did it. I finally escaped
Mm-hmm.
because feeling as if being a human in a human body was a prison sentence, is what it felt like to me. But
Mm.
the next thing I remember is that all of those hard feelings, emotions, and um, were gone. They were like
Mm-hmm.
left with my body, and I just became, I don't know, knowledge. It's really hard to explain it, but I just became. That's really the only way to explain it.
Yes.
And when you're talking about the ocean, the thought that came to me was like, will I remember the salty taste of the ocean and the wind on my face and the wetness of the water and the
Mm-hmm.
grittiness of the sand beneath my feet when that happens again, when I do finally go home? And that was something that was like, oh, I need to slow down and go
Mm-hmm.
experience the bark on a tree or the softness of a flower petal or
Mm-hmm.
because
It
when
feels
we
like
do,
yeah, I go ahead. I'm just sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
no,
off, but
no,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it feels like when we're in our bodies, it feels restrictive in a
It,
way, right?
it does,
That's what
but
it feels like to me sometimes.
yeah, it does. But
Hmm.
also, as beautiful as we see these things, the sunset, how easy it is to take them for granted. And then when our
Right.
bodies are gone and we become,
Mm-hmm.
will we miss the fact that we didn't spend more time letting the sand go through our fingertips and the
Mm.
and tasting the salt water and feeling the
Mm.
rocks beneath our feet,
Oh, absolutely. And gosh, I don't know if
tasting life.
tasting life, and I didn't share my near-death experience with you, I don't think, but I can do that another time. But I know it was short-lived, and for me, I felt everything sensory wise,
Mm,
smell, the light, everything was bright, didn't hurt my eyes. And I remember that I was at that point, I was me without
yep,
my body.
yep.
And there was a lot of peace. And so, gosh, as we, do talk about being in our bodies, since we are in these bodies of ours, we get to talk about the topic of this transitions into self-worth. We've been talking about self-worth. And then the last time we talked about being outside and all that, as in the garden, I talked about how that was important for me to feel. You were asking me, how does that help your self-worth? And I think it's because I was really in a place where I really love being in the garden. And I think it's important for people to do what they really love. It doesn't take very much time,
Hmm.
right? To do these things that we love that add value to our life as a human.
I love that. And if you think about it, it's like, let's just say right now you wake up in a hospital bed and you're told you have 5 days left and that's it. And in those next 5 days, you will be in that hospital bed. You can't leave for whatever reason.
Mm,
Do you think you're going to be worried if you worked enough? Do you think you're going to be worried if you
mm,
paid all the bills or if you had the right clothes or I don't think those are going to be my thoughts. I think I'm going to be like, why didn't I go to the mountains more? Why didn't I play in the snow more? Why didn't I chase after the butterflies? I don't know. I just personally think I don't think we're here meant to be slaving away and struggling to survive. What about you? What do you think, Melissa?
Don't think
And
so either.
and
No,
let us know down in the comments if you're watching this. What do you think about that?
right. I was chasing a monarch yesterday on
Oh,
the trail.
so I have to give you hands up here, a little bit of
Flame up.
admiration because Melissa has gotten to that place, that space in her life where she does slow down and smell the flowers and chase the monarchs and touch the
Hmm.
trees. Um, and how has that benefited you in this human experience?
It just, I feel ignited. I feel like I'm living a full life. If I'm we talk about bodies and we are talking about being here in our bodies. It adds value. It adds, there's a yumminess, there's a lightness, there's a
Yumminess.
experiencing
Ooh.
beauty and allowing our, myself to go there and not stopping it. I think sometimes people stop their joy.
Hmm.
They just
Hmm.
stop it. Oh, can't have fun, or I have to get things done, or and we do have to get things done as a human
Well, that comes from
experience.
that human programming that happens in our
Mm-hmm.
life, I think, where
Mm-hmm.
we actually become beings that begin to feel shame or guilt if we
Mm-hmm.
start to have too much fun or too much creative time, or it's
Oh,
like, oh no, I
yeah.
can only do that one time a year and for a couple of days or a week, and
Right.
now I got to get back to the rigmarole, the grind.
Right.
And
So
do
I'm
you,
into carving a little bit of time every day
yeah,
for joy.
because whatever you believe the creator to be, I can't imagine the creator I know in my heart anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One is like I provided everything for you. It's all out there already. And
Right.
unfortunately, we had to get caught up in all these systems where you have to pay rent and pay taxes, and I
Mm-mm.
don't think that's all how it should be.
Mm. And
It's like,
if you listen to the near death experiences, and you can do any research on near death experiences, they have these meetings called IANs, and I used to go to them when I lived up north, and I went to them for about 3 years, and it was basically people that died and came back and told their stories. But if we don't have to die and come back to feel the joy. This is the thing that's really interesting, because I had no idea we are going to go in this direction, but this is a really important message for a lot of people, is that we don't have to wait to that point. We can have it now.
yes, exactly. Thank you for
Hmm.
saying that,
Yeah.
Melissa. And
Mm.
that's so powerful. You don't have to wait to die and go see heaven to
Hmm.
come back and go, oh my gosh, I have it backwards. You can
Mm.
stop now
Hmm.
and reevaluate and reorganize and reprioritize and put your
Hmm.
inner peace and joy as your number one, two, or three priorities, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. So, I mean, we go through our waves, and if, apparently, I know that we all have our emotions, we have our feelings, and maybe
Yeah.
there's some external things going on that are might be beyond our control, if we talked about that before. So, with that being said, it's also paying attention to what you're paying attention to.
Mhm.
What are your beliefs? What are you carrying forward about your life and in what's going on in your life?
Absolutely. And that doesn't take away from the everyday situations that happen. I mean, one of the recent
Mm-mm.
videos I posted was about, a shift going on at work and how that really hit me for a minute. And I had to sit
Mm-hmm.
down and evaluate, gosh, what choice am I going to make right now in which path I take with this
Mm-hmm.
new this new path potentially, or this new challenge. And I don't think I had that wisdom 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago to say, we still have all the power.
Mm-hmm. We
I still
forget.
have the power to say, I'm not going to worry. I'm going to choose to give it to my higher power or my
Mm-hmm.
creator
Mm-hmm.
because I trust that there's a purpose in this.
Mm-hmm. Universe will. take care of things. And the thing is it's in our hardwiring too. So pay attention to your hardwiring. And our brains are, because of our past, living in the caves way back when, there was the hardwiring that kept us fight, flight, freeze. That
Mm-hmm.
hear that noise, and
Mm-hmm.
so be aware of when your brain is being negative, or when your thoughts are you're
Well,
not
we call that the monkey
the
mind.
monkey mind, right?
When
And
the
this
monkey mind comes in and tries to, what if this happens?
what
What if
if
this happens?
this
What if this doesn't? Oh my gosh, what am I gonna? And it's like,
Right. But
slow
thoughts
down.
aren't thoughts aren't facts. Thoughts come in. I mean, we know we get millions of thoughts a day. So this is important, and I'm glad that we're talking about it, because this is just kind of a just a step. Just pay attention to what we pay attention to.
And that's
Yeah.
another name for that would be mindfulness. Pay attention to
Mm-hmm.
what we pay attention to. That's mindfulness, but
Mm-hmm.
also what you're giving power to. And,
Exactly. Right.
we'll just use this part to let me ask you, Melissa, what are the three most powerful tools that you found in your healing journey have helped transform you in your being?
Mm. Wow. That's a lot. I have to kind of go there and try to think about it. Byron Katie,
Hmm.
doing the work. It's a 4 questions and doing the turnarounds. And I went to Byron Katie groups for about 7 years. I would recommend that. I went to certain spiritual groups, and I really started studying Taoism. And I really got a lot out of this one book by Dyer, that really, really helped me. And that was one of the things that really helped me. It's called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life.
Hmm.
Super powerful. The 12-step program, for sure. I would say in a microcosmic kind of situation for me, it would be like really pay attention to a scale. And I learned that the scale about 0 to 10, where I am with my thoughts. And I went through my day and I would check in with myself. Now that takes some effort, because a lot of people don't even know the contents of their mind. They're just
Right,
going through
absolutely.
their days. So that would be one thing, would be the scale. Where are you on your joy scale? Are you suffering? Why? And then, because we all suffer, it's a paying attention to why.
I
So
love
just
that.
kind of cutting it down, because it really is. I did so much studying and so
And
much
so the Tao,
research.
study of the Tao, that's Hinduism or
It, it,
Buddhism?
it Taoism. So
Oh,
Taoism,
Tao,
yeah.
it's okay. It's its
So
own
it's,
thing then.
yeah, Lao Tzu. It was this famous. It was actually this. Apparently, it's the second most deciphered and most published book besides the Bible.
This one, the
Is
one you have right
not
here?
not this, but the original Tao, the
Oh,
original Lao Tzu book of the 81 chapters. Basically, he wrote 81 chapters about life,
huh. I
and
didn't know
it's
that.
helped a lot of people, especially
I'll
people
have
in
to
recovery meetings.
see if I can find that on thriftbooks.com.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. What about you? What were some, if you could
Hmm.
think about three, I know it's a big topic
So
area.
the number one tool that helped me so far and still does to this day is meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Using meditation as a safe place, but it's in that meditation because I'm not sure if the type of meditation I do, I think that might be called transcendental meditation. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
100. To me, it's just regular meditation. But when I
Yeah.
compare my experiences, I'm like, no, I went to a whole different place. So then I
Mm-hmm.
come back, or
Yeah.
and so I think that's transcendental meditation. I'm
I
not
think
sure,
so
but
too. Oh,
and that just naturally came to me when I first started meditating. That's what I did.
yeah.
Um,
It's important.
that taught me a lot more about controlling my mind and controlling my thoughts. I
Mm.
would come back with knowledge that I didn't know that I knew. And I really
Mm-hmm.
think we all have access to all knowledge ever. But when I
Yes.
go into those meditative states and come back, and somebody would ask me a question, and I'd be like, oh, blah, 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 here's the answer. And they'd be like, how do you know that? And I'd be like, I have no clue. I honestly have no clue how I know that. So, and then we'd
Helps
look it
you.
up and it would be accurate information. So,
Mm-hmm.
that really was probably my number one, my knowledge. So the reading, and I can't really say one particular book in general because
Mm-hmm.
I I really can't say other than the Bible, read
Hmm.
one book from the very front to the very back straight through. I'm
Hmm.
kind of a sporadic reader. I go in and read a little, then I'm
Me
like, oh, now
too.
I want to read this book, and then I'll read a little here and read a little there. But definitely reading. So for me, the next one
Hmm.
would be knowledge, increasing my
Hmm.
knowledge, and probably being open-minded because I know that before my spiritual awakening, after my near-death experience, I was very one way Christian. It had to be this way, but yet in that Christian belief system, there was a lot of legalism that so I was still going around judging everybody. You're going to hell and you're going to hell and you're going to hell. And if you don't
Hmm.
do it this way, you're not going to heaven. And I didn't even realize that the kind of the hypocrisy in my own belief system. And then so after my spiritual awakening, after I had all these mystical, crazy experiences that most people wouldn't even believe after I share them, and I won't share them today, but we'll have to do a video on that and just talk about our near-death experiences. But
Hmm.
it opened my mind. It's almost like something cracked either in my psyche or in my brain that let me into a whole new dimension of,
Mm.
hey, you knew this much, but now you know this much. And then recently, after being paralyzed, partially paralyzed, I had it happen again. So it's like opening up to more understanding. And I struggled with that even in the beginning of my openness because like when I would talk to I'm just going to use Christianity. I'm not against Christianity by any means, but I think that there are different belief systems in Christianity. And sometimes I'll come in and I'll be like, oh, well, I now believe all paths lead us home. And then I'll hear, oh no, only this belief, and if you don't, you're going to this place. And I used to be like that, but after that open-mindedness in my spiritual awakening, that became my biggest tool because I'm like, maybe I don't know everything. Maybe there is more to this
Mm.
story, and
Hmm.
maybe some of those things have been manipulated over time by human
Mm.
beings.
Yeah.
And so it
Yeah.
would definitely be knowledge, open-mindedness, and meditation are what have really brought me
Hmm.
um to a place of being comfortable in my being.
That's wonderful. I would also
Yeah.
add journaling
Yes.
for
Well,
me, for
and
sure.
absolutely, there are plenty. Those are just the top three. Absolutely. Um, I could probably go on for a long time. I call those things shadow work tools. It's
Yeah,
like we do the
absolutely.
shadow work tools to go in and view and sit with our shadow and understand that even the parts of us we've been told were shameful,
Hmm.
they're worthy of love too, and that they're
That's
just
correct.
as equal a part of us. So,
That's right.
yeah, journaling
Yeah.
definitely, definitely.
It's been very helpful, and anybody could journal anytime during the session that we're doing if anything comes up for any of you. I wasn't sure if you wanted to transition into my nose tickles. Self-worth.
Yeah, we
Are
can
you ready
answer
for
I
that?
think there were three questions on the next one, or was it five questions this
I think
time?
it
I
was
don't remember.
five
I think we agreed we
questions.
were only going to pull three of them, though. So,
Yeah, I think we're gonna do three of them.
okay. So we were on
Um,
checking myself, right?
yeah, let's see. Were we checking this out?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did my own
checking. Yeah,
standards
yeah, the
last time.
very, very bottom of page 16. Correct. Uh-huh.
So let's say, you pick two questions that we'll answer, and I'll pick one question that we'll answer.
Okay. Whom do I rely on to fulfill my emotional needs, and how is that working? Okay. That's a good one. I can rely talking with select friends, my mate, my sister. That generally works well. Um, that's kind of all I really put on that one. Who do I rely for? And that's just a really important question. Who do I rely on to fulfill my emotional needs? Wow. I mean, that takes a lot of trust.
It really does. And I think a part of anybody's healing journey, if you're watching us, if we've come across your time feed and you're watching, you're probably on some sort of, whether it's from substance use or domestic violence or just having some sort of life. Let me reevaluate what life really is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Learning that all the people we used to give our trust to probably
Mm-hmm.
weren't necessarily worthy of our trust. And So my question, when I answered this one, whom do I rely on to fill my emotional needs and how is it working? The first answer I put was myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I put my cat.
Mm-hmm.
My poor cat, he takes on so much of the burden. And then I
Oh,
put my daughter, my granddaughter, my sister, and my mom. Um, and
yeah.
I put that it's getting better and better every day, even though we do have challenges.
Mm.
Healing relationships from the past,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that maybe didn't go 100% great, sometimes does have its challenges, but I know that when I spend time in silence with my cat, it's not like he can talk to me, but it slows my mind. I have to get still and in the moment and become mindful. Like you said, I'm paying attention to what I'm paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
And then my daughter and granddaughter bring me so much joy, even though we still have our ups and downs. I'm a mother, she's a daughter. Of course, there's going to be conflict from time to time, but
Right.
and probably my sister's probably been my biggest ally. But like you say, having friends, having you in my
Mm-hmm.
life, having groups
Mm.
sometimes, all of those help with my emotional needs.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, and it's interesting that you said myself because I realized I didn't put that on there, but definitely myself because that's what I learned was take care of my own emotional needs and then reach out
Let me
for
put you on
help.
the spot real quick, Melissa. What
Yeah.
are your top five emotional needs?
What are my top? Oh gosh, emotional needs. Time to be respite, time for me. That's really important to me personally is time to be by myself, which is quieting all the noise outside, just time to sit still. That's an emotional need. The other
Yes,
thing
it
is
is.
paying attention, again, paying attention to maybe what's going on. I may not be understanding why I'm crying. I don't
But
need to figure that
acknowledging
out.
that you are going through
Yes.
something that's making you cry.
Right. Like I would share an example, and I don't know if I talked about this last time, but I know I was a little off a few days back and I woke up funky. There's that word.
Mm.
I woke a little off. I was a little off. And I could tell there was a heaviness going on. And I realized I was processing through something. So giving myself again, there's that time to process. And then I also know the tools or the people or the suggestions that I can reach for
Right,
when maybe
absolutely.
I'm going down a deep rabbit hole and I'm not
Mm.
getting out of it. I just keep going down, down. So I don't know if I answered the whole question. What else did you say about that
Three more
question?
things that
Oh, three more
the reason
things.
I'm asking this because I ran a group yesterday
Drinking
and
water.
what was it? Drinking water?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Paying attention to what I'm grabbing or gravitating towards or from.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awareness.
Getting out on the trail because I love nature, as you've all heard. Being outside is that really helps my emotional needs.
Yes.
I think I answered it. So you
You
said
did.
you
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 did.
you brought
Um,
it up in a group, and how
I
did
did.
that
It
go?
came up in a group yesterday because I work with women
Mm-hmm.
and you know, a lot of us women were brought up in situations that if you were paying attention to yourself, you were being selfish, or that's, you're
Mm.
supposed to take care of people around you. And so I asked them all to write down their emotional needs. And it did take them a moment. It kind of stumped them for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay. And they may change. Tomorrow I could ask you the same question. You may have a new emotional need.
Right.
But
Yes.
yeah, I know for me, my emotional needs are, I really enjoy my solo time, my alone time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But at the equal, probably pretty equal on my list is I enjoy touch, physical touch. Um, and so that's hard for me because I've chosen to be single at this juncture in my life. And that is a part I'm often missing, and I even will grieve over it sometimes. I'm like, I'm just that's just me. I'm a Cancer. We're very loving, nurturing type people, and to have that missing from my life, and then to have a cat who doesn't ever want to give it to me unless he wants it. I do sense that loss that
Mm.
I don't have that. But Probably to be seen, heard, and valued. So seen, heard, valued, emotional touch, and alone time are my top five emotional needs.
I would hear, I did that. Yeah, seen, heard, valued.
Yeah,
Those are big ones.
yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's kind of a deep question, isn't it, for all of
It
us
is.
to
So
look at?
if you're watching this, please take out a pen and paper or even just comment. What are your
Hmm.
top five emotional needs? And if you're not sure, that's an okay answer to say, hey, I'm not sure. Maybe I should figure that out. Um,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
pick another question for us on self-worth.
Okay, so what stops me from doing what I really like to do? Hmm.
Hmm.
You want
What
to answer
stops
first,
you?
or?
What stops you, Melissa?
Well, gosh, I used to say money, not so much now, which is a different reality. But I would say sometimes myself. Sometimes I stop myself, and other times, safety issues. There's things that I really like doing, which you've heard me talk about how politically active I've been for a long time, and I had to reevaluate for safety reasons
Hmm.
lately.
No jumping out of helicopters is what you're
No
saying.
jumping out of helicopters. Being aware of the protests
Hmm.
that I have normally done all my life because I grew up with a mother and a grandmother that were very civic minded and very political,
And right
especially my
now, you could
grandmother.
end up very injured from protesting.
So, yes, but what stops me from really doing what I like to do? Maybe, I would say, yeah, it comes down to some safety issues, some thoughts of maybe there's something going on unconsciously that I might not be aware of why I'm stopping myself from succeeding, like taking the next
Would we call
steps.
that maybe self-sabotaging mindset or subconscious belief systems?
I
Or
could
maybe just
say,
something you're going through that you can't even put your finger on?
I would say all three.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I know for
Mm-hmm.
me, I when I answered this because we Melissa and I were going through these questions before, and so I had put sometimes it's physical or mental health and mostly my
Mm-hmm.
mindset. And so
Mm-hmm.
now I would kind of like to reframe that. It's still the same answer, but I feel like for me it's self-sabotaging behaviors like my
Mm-hmm.
comfort as much as I fought so hard to finally find a place of safety and security.
Right.
Now it's become my comfort zone. And unfortunately, to do the things I want to do, I have to come out of that comfort zone. And I'm like, nope, don't want to. I want to put on my sweater and get back in bed with a comfy movie or a comfy book. And no, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to go do that, but I do want to do it, but I don't want to do it. So that's mindset,
Mm-hmm.
self-sabotaging behaviors now. So,
It could be so sabotaging. It could also be that you're changing and you're evolving into, somebody that's maybe liking to be home a little bit more
well,
in a cozy environment.
cancers are known, not to throw that out there so many times, but cancers are known for being the homebodies. We are the
Mm-mm.
homemakers.
My
We are the
mom is a
people that
Cancer.
are, yes, we love to cook. And even though
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that anymore now that I'm single, I used to love to cook when I had family or boyfriends or something. But now
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, I'm just fine with a comfy book and a cup of soup or a cup of tea and my kitty
Okay.
cat down by my feet on the bed. And
Okay.
that is my
That works.
happiness.
That works. Yeah. Well, what's the next question? Do you want to ask that and answer that one?
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and make this the last question for today, and we can pick up on these questions again in our next video.
Yes.
Um, how do I react or respond when someone offers to help me do something? Hmm. How do I react or respond when someone offers to help me do something? So
Uh,
it has taken me 7 years of hardcore work on myself to get to this
mhm.
point where now I allow them to help me. Never, ever, ever used to because every relationship or people in my life that were supposed to be guiding me and helping me, I felt they didn't fail me all
Mm,
the time, but I
mhm.
feel like more often than not, I felt like they failed me. And that's not saying they did fail me. It's saying that's how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
Perception is everything.
Right.
Um, so I got to the point where it was like, nope, nobody, I got it. I got it. I'll do it. I'm fine. I can do it. Yep, I broke my ankle, but that's okay. I'll get up and still cook for myself. I'll still do it. But now I'm like, oh, you want to cook for me? Thank you. And I just let them. So I know that means I'm softening and healing as time
Awesome.
goes. What about you?
Oh my gosh. Um, I kind of the past part of me, the life that I had, I did not like asking for help.
Mm.
Felt like that was a sign of weakness, or maybe that was this, I had this, I could take care of myself. So what I learned in
Where does that come from, though, I wonder?
oh my gosh, well, it comes from a background where we couldn't, as a family, my siblings and I couldn't really rely on my mom for strength, or because she had some major issues. So she wasn't really available. So, we just kind of had each other, thank goodness.
So you had to also be the only person you relied on.
Hmm.
But even in our healed state, let's be fair, we really are still the only people we can rely on, but there's kind of a different energy behind it, don't you think?
Oh,
Like
for
before, it was
sure.
more defensive and
Mhm.
screw the world, they messed me over. I can't trust anybody. I'm going to do it all. And now it's more like, let me take care of my self needs first, and then I'll see what I have left to help the rest of the world with.
That is absolutely right. So filling up your own carafe, your own pitcher, your own
Mhm.
temple, as the Buddhists say, filling up yourself first is a healthy thing. It's not a selfish thing. And I think you're absolutely right on, because it really does. I mean, when you think about where we were and where we are, I love being able to ask for help if I feel comfortable asking for help. But I still, part of me is very, I guess part of it is I'm very independent and kind of self-sufficient. And that's okay.
I don't think those are bad things. If you think
Mm-mm.
about it, it's like while we are connected to everybody and we're all one collective, we
Mm-hmm.
also simultaneously at the exact same time are individuals. And
Mm-hmm.
you have to rely on yourself to be the one that speaks up and says, "Hey, I kind of need this right now." Or so does relying on yourself, does that mean you're the only one that can help you? No. Relying on yourself means to me, I believe and trust myself to ask for help when I need it.
That's that's pivotal right there. It's
And yeah,
very
maybe I have it
important.
figured out most of the time, but which I don't. I'm just speaking in general.
And asking for help, by, it takes, sometimes it takes courage to really ask for help, right? So just listen to that. It takes courage. And also asking for help from the person or the people that will be glad to help you.
Yes. And you said it earlier. Oh gosh, I just lost it. You said something earlier that stood out to me, and it was lost it. Maybe it'll come back to me. But yes. Oh, about feeling like asking for help was a sign of weakness.
Hmm.
And don't you think that comes from the what we were taught growing up or what we viewed around us? That
Hmm.
if you're not handling it all by yourself, if you don't have it all figured out, if you don't, then you are a failure or you're not successful. And I feel like it's so inverted. It's actually the opposite in my opinion now that I've healed or
I
I'm
think so
healing.
too. And then I notice in ACA and then CODA and all these other recovery, not just the recovery meetings, but I in spiritual meetings, all kinds of things point to, it's healthy to ask for help when you need help.
Yep.
It is
And
not selfish.
I also think it's one of the most bravest thing a human can do because it's
Hmm.
scary to ask for help. It's scary to admit, hey, I don't have it all figured out or I am a little lacking in this area, so could you come help me?
Right.
That takes the biggest act of courage that I think any human
It's
can go through.
it's courageous, and knowing, like you were saying earlier, knowing that you're valued, knowing that, like, I had my cousin break his leg horrifically, and he's high functioning autistic person, and he didn't ask for help. I mean, he went through the whole process, by himself. Luckily, my sister helped a little bit, but he did not ask for one thing. And I thought, whoa,
Hmm.
that's pretty independent, but also, wow. I mean, to not. ask or tell someone that this is really what's happening for me and I really need your help right now. Can you come
Right.
help?
And if you think about anybody who might be going through substance use issues or maybe
Mm-hmm.
alcoholism,
Mm-hmm.
addiction is separation from self, separation from our creator, separation from
Mm-hmm.
community. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you get to the point in your healing journey where you can reach back out again and say, hey, I need a little bit of help, you are
Right.
doing the opposite of addiction. You are connecting again. And that's, in my opinion, one of the most healing ways to get through these addictions or addictive type behaviors that some of us suffer from.
Exactly. So like it's really important to listen to what you're saying and also the fact that you don't have to be suffering from alcoholism or drug addiction. You can be suffering from old behavioral patterns that are dysfunctional.
That's true. That's true. So it's not necessarily going to always be, I was talking to somebody this week. I don't remember who I was talking to, and they're
Hmm.
like, "Well, I'm not an addict anymore." And I was like, "Okay, and that's fair. You get to determine.
Right.
You are the one that gets to determine that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Do you feel you still have behaviors that you're trying to get away
Hmm.
from maybe yourself though, and
Right.
maybe you read too much or maybe you watch too much TV or we fill those voids with comforting foods because I know I'm a potato
Hmm.
gal and I'm sorry, a
Potato.
good
I love
bowl of mashed
potatoes.
potatoes or French fries always
Ooh,
makes me feel great
lots of butter.
until I get on the
Oh,
scale.
well, it's okay to
Those are
give
still
ourselves a break.
maladaptive behaviors. Those are adaptations to just sitting with that uncomfortability. And so sometimes I have to just say,
Oh,
"Oh, I'm craving fries, but technically I'm not hungry. So why am I really craving these fries?" Ah, because I'm going through a shift at work or I'm fighting with my sister or I'm just giving
feeling
examples, but
right, feeling empty at this moment, feeling
yeah.
out of sorts, and then I mean, eating, and we know this, eating does add comfort. It's just a
Well,
matter of what are we eating and how much.
scientifically, there are chemicals released in the brain when we eat. We get
Right.
dopamine and I can't remember the
Oh,
other one that's released. There's a couple of them.
serotonin? No.
Serotonin. Well, I think it
No.
adds to serotonin, but
Yeah, as a serotonin, but
so there are chemical
I was just reading
reasons that
about
certain
this.
foods do things for us.
Yes, they spike us up, but I know if
Hmm.
I have too much coffee, I'm so
Anybody who's been watching me on these videos or knows me in my personal life knows that coffee, I don't know if it's just because of my past with addiction, but coffee
Mm,
literally makes me all
yeah.
over the place. And so,
Well,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
have
you
to
get things done
slow
when you
down
drink
on.
a lot of coffee, or you
I
don't
love
even drink. I mean,
coffee.
I do coffee
I
in the
gave up
morning.
everything else. Why do I have to give up
You
my
don't have to give
coffee?
up coffee. That's part of your self-worth and self-care is, knowing how much you can handle and knowing what's okay with you. And give
Yes.
ourselves a break, right? I mean, if we grab the potato chips, okay, but the next day we can celery and carrots or something. I mean, we give ourselves a break, right?
Like I said, in those last moments laying on our bed, are you really going to be like, gosh, I should have not eaten more chips or
Mm-mm.
um, I should have ate more celery and carrot sticks. I can't imagine those very last moments that
I
those
don't.
are the things that are going to matter.
I don't think
Obviously,
so.
yes, take care of your body,
Right.
try to be as healthy as you can, move your body, eat as
Right.
healthy as you can, but
Chase butterflies if you can. But some of you are going through snowstorms, so you're not seeing the butterflies right
uh,
now.
stop and taste the earth, stop and
Yes.
taste life.
We have one, two, three, four. We have four more, and then we have findings, which is a really important part, which is answering these questions on the subject of self worth. What have you learned about yourself? So I don't
So we'll
know.
get into those next
We
week.
will do that next time. Yes.
And I think it's probably a good place to say goodbye here. I'm not going to pull a card today.
Okay.
I want to try to see if we can get these a little shorter for a little bit and see how that works out for us.
Yeah. Sounds
If you're
good.
watching it and you've made it this far and you missed the card pull or you miss any elements that you've seen in our videos before, feel free to share down in the comments. And thank you for being here with Melissa and I today.
Thanks for coming, and you all take good care of yourselves, and we'll see whoever shows up next time. How about that?
Yes. Yes. You said, how about that? And it reminded me of that. I don't know if you remember on Dr. Phil, there was that little girl. Her name was Danielle something. She's like, how about that? Meet me outside. How about that? That's what that reminded me.
That's a funny way to.
Anyway, thank
Okay.
you for coming, everybody. We will see you next week.
Okay. Bye for now.